Yeah, just waiting for this delay. All right, Joe. Doc Mack is back in the house, man. Let's get this started. Give me that countdown.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get over here! Hi, I'm martial art master Daniel Pacino. You know me as the original Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and Smoke. You are tuning in to NerdCage Live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Don't miss an episode or you'll get caged. So let's finish him.
This is Anthony Marquez, better known as Kung Lao for Mortal Kombat. Make sure to like and subscribe to NerdCage Live. Be there. Us.
Hey everybody, this is Dave Niebor from Dog Eat Dog, and you're watching NerdCage Live. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel. These are great guys doing what they love to do.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it! All right!
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom!
Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run. But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running!
Run faster. Oh no, Joe. The galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Hi, I'm Leah Montalongo, the OG Sindel. Please like, subscribe to NerdCage Live.
This is Ernie C. from Body Count. You're tuned in to NerdCage. Can you like and subscribe?
Hey guys, it's the original Shao Kahn, Brian Glenn, and I'd like you to subscribe to NerdCage Live.
It has begun.
If what you say is true, the Shaolin
And the NerdCage
could be dangerous.
Greetings, citizens. You're now trapped in a NerdCage. We hope you have a smashing good time.
You're now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge alone. Welcome once again. You are trapped in NerdCage Live. This channel is a celebration of all things pop culture, including arcade games, retro gaming, and of course, the Galloping Ghost Arcade located in Chicago, Illinois. I'm your co-host, Jay St. G, Certified Geek 7 days a week, coming to you live from yours truly, the land of the orange, the land of Tom Cruise, the land of Earth Crisis, the land of Anthrax of Syracuse, New York. And always among us, it's our moderator and trollhammer, stronger than a DK banana stomach. You can't stop it, you can't crop it, you can't top it. Like a B-52 bomber, Oppenheimer, he's gonna drop it. Born from the atomic seed in the titanium womb. The NerdCage Live gaming prophet known as Joe of FallenOne Gaming. Please introduce our fantastical guest that has returned.
Yes, we have the return of Doc Mack from Galloping Arcade. How are you, sir?
Doing quite well. Thank you for having me back.
Absolutely. And Joe, before we go any further, who do we got in the chat today?
In the chat today, we have Mike Fizel, we have Artar11, Scott Bannock, and Shay Smithers.
Yes, we got some Chicago people now, so we appreciate you guys' support. All right, Joe, we got a lot of things to promote real quick. We'll just run through this real quick. Guys, Joe, if they haven't already, please check out our live stream with Brick by Brick.
Yes, Mike Valenti of Brick by Brick and his wonderful Chris Jericho story.
Yes, by the way, thank you to everybody who checked out that clip. And of course, Joe, another Chicago native, Patman QC.
Yes, Patman QC, happy little games.
Yes, check out that live stream. And of course, Patman QC will be appearing at the Midway Gaming this coming weekend. And of course, Eli Rex.
Yes, finally had an interview with Eli Rex, and it was a wonderful time to be had.
Yes, the podcast will be available sometime in this coming weekend. And then Joe, Saturday on Twitch.
Saturday on Twitch, we will be wrapping up, hopefully, finale attempt of God of War 2.
And then Joe, Easter Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, our spoiler discussion of Godzilla x Kong.
And then Tuesday on Twitch.
Yes, more Gears of War 2.
And of course, mark your calendars for Wednesday, April 3rd.
Yes, for Finn McKenty.
Yes, the Punk Rock NBA, 500,000 subscribers. Be there for that interview. It's going to be bonkers. And of course, Wednesday, April 10th, the Queen of Violence returns.
Yes, Heather Hardy returns to promote her upcoming fight.
Bare knuckle fight, nonetheless. And all right,
Yes.
Joe, mark your calendars for Monday, April 22nd, the year of 1994.
Yes, in Retro Gaming, we're going to talk everything the year 1994. You don't want to miss it.
And of course, MK the 4th be with you.
Yes, May 4th, we will be doing a watch party of Mortal Kombat Legacy, both seasons 1 and 2.
All right, Joe, plug in social media.
All right, if you want to get us on Twitter or Instagram, both handles are at @nerd_cage. Our link to our Discord is in the description. Become a member there as well. And our Facebook discussion group, that is NerdCage Nation. We love everything you guys put up there. No spoilers, no politics, and for God's sakes, keep it civil.
And show them your mug. Not your face, your mug.
Yes. So we have mugs. This is a Resident Evil design, if my green screen will cooperate.
Yes.
And many more. So any design for these mugs are great quality, stainless steel inside. You're going to love it.
Yes, that's our TeePublic. Link in the description, guys. We have many different t-shirts and hoodies available. Any size, any color. Whether you're skinny, booty call, or a fat fuck, big or small, we love them all. We go from small all the way to 5XL. We got designs like this Mortal Kombat arcade marquee, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3. Joe's the biggest Zelda fan in the world, so I promised Joe we'd make Zelda shirts, so we did. And of course, we got the Pornhub shirt. We got the Rocky 3 shirt and Rocky 4 shirt. We got the PlayStation shirt. We got the Godzilla Monsterverse shirt. Don't Tell the RZA. Wu-Tang. We got this shirt, and of course, we got the MCU shirt, and of course, our top selling shirt, the regular shirt with the Strength of Geek Knowledge on the back. Hell, we got hoodies, magnets, mugs, pillows, you name it. Get yourself a NerdCage Live t-shirt. You're going to love the way you look. I guarantee it. All right, guys. So, Doc Mack, we had you on back in October. So please, 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 oh, please. For those who may not be familiar with the Galloping Ghost Arcade, or if anybody's tuning in for the first time, please explain what you do, what the Galloping Ghost Arcade is, and of course, please give us some major updates since we've last seen you, man. So go ahead. The floor is yours, my friend.
It's definitely been a lot going on. So the Galloping Ghost Arcade, largest arcade in the world, out in Brookfield, Illinois, about 15 minutes out of Chicago. 976 arcade games. We pride ourselves on all original hardware with no LCDs or anything. It's all classic CRTs, all in cabinets. $25 to get in, and everything's on free play. So we get players that travel in from all over the world, and every week we keep making it bigger and adding more games. So
excellent. Now, since we've last had you on the show, I know you have some events coming up, and also, has there been any more like major machines that have come in since last October?
We've had. I'm trying to think. We're coming up in this upcoming December. We'll been doing the Monday Mystery Game for 10 years, which is pretty incredible. So there's just kind of going over all the games that have come out, stuff that people have heard of, stuff that are pretty much unseen prototype games. We just put up a game called Destroyer from Jail not too long ago.
Okay.
There was maybe 25 of these boards made, just outrageously rare, only released in Korea, and it was basically just this small company's ripoff of Ninja Gaiden and Narc.
Oh, okay.
And it was a hard time obtaining the board, but managed to track one down, and being such a huge fan of the arcade game of Narc, it was important to have it here. So not one anybody had ever heard of before, and certainly not the smoothest playing game ever, but something cool, rare, obscure, and you're not going to be playing it anywhere else. So
yeah. Nice.
Also, I want to point out one more time, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Joe, but I know we talked about it last time, but let's just reiterate it again because we have a lot more followers now than we did last time you were here, Doc. But please just reiterate, one of the biggest things at Galloping Ghost Arcade is you guys have the only copy of the machine of Primal Rage 2. So please go ahead, just let the world know about that one too, because we have a lot of Kaiju fans here.
So Primal Rage 2, we picked that up from a Mortal Kombat player who went by Tom Brady, who was just came out to the arcade back when MK9 and Street Fighter 4 were the newest and greatest. We had this amazing fighting team, Team GGA, and we would send them all over the world to go compete in tournaments and stuff, and that really built the fighting game community crowd within the arcade. And Tom Brady hooked us up with a Primal Rage 2 board, and it literally became worldwide news, and players were traveling in from everywhere, and we got to talk with Chris Tang, who was one of the developers on the game, and we flew him in from out of state, and just was an amazing thing to tell the history of a game that most people had never even seen or knew that it existed, and to get one of the unreleased prototypes was just an amazing thing.
Absolutely. And also, I just want to point out, too, Chicago's home away from home for me, right down Interstate I-90 from Syracuse, about a 11-hour, 10-hour drive, depending on how fast you go, but I just want to point out that every time I'm in Chicago, not only I get my deep dish pizza, one of my priorities is go to the Galloping Ghost Arcade. I've been there 4 or 5 times so far, Doc, and I'm just going to say that every time I've been there, I never have enough time. I never have enough time to play all the games. Hell, I haven't even been to the pinball section yet. So I just want to reiterate, man, that when you're in Chicago to go to the Galloping Ghost, you're going to need to be there all day and all night because there's just not enough time in the day to try all the games you want to play. And I just want to say that Galloping Ghost Arcade is not only an experience, but it's an experience you have to experience multiple times whenever you're in Chicago. So if I plan on being in Chicago this summer, and that's going to be one of the first places I'm going to go. And Joe hasn't been there yet. So
no, I haven't.
Point out that, yeah, like I said, I've been there myself many times, and I always love going there, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got our next big expansion coming up. It's maybe a week or 2 away, where we're opening up the final ground floor building. So pretty much the entire block is all the Galloping Ghost Arcade, and We've been talking a lot with the town about adding the second and third floor that we've been hoping to do. And
oh, that's amazing! Congratulations! I know you're gonna get it.
Thank you. It's coming. It's going to be a massive undertaking, but we hope to move pinball down as part of the arcade. We're talking about doing a console and LAN center area to the arcade, an actual museum, as well as have room to keep growing the arcade itself. So it's a much needed space.
That's amazing. And of course, I just want to say, me and Joe just want to say thank you for being a prime figure and keeping retro gaming and arcades alive, man. You're the perfect representative.
Sure.
Thank you for that. It's again, it's so much. It's not work for me. Like I love being here every day. I'm never not here. But I get to work with some amazing people. Our lead tech, Doug Fox, Ken Walker down at Pinball, and all the guys here are just absolutely amazing. So it's definitely a lot of people to make it all work, and couldn't do without them. So
yes. And finally, if anybody's got questions for Doc, Joe and I will fetch your questions. By all means, Doc is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to retro gaming and all that. So, but by all means, if you got questions for Doc or questions about the Galloping Ghost Arcade, we will fetch them as we go. All right, Joe, where do you want to start? I definitely got some questions for Doc, but Joe, do you want to kick?
I do want to address one thing in chat, though. I want to address one thing in chat. If anybody hasn't already, be sure to wish Doomzilla a happy belated birthday.
Yes.
I believe it was yesterday.
Happy birthday, Doomzilla. Belated.
As for questions, I'll let you start on that, Jay. I've got a little thinking to do. I don't want to retouch on other ones that I've already done.
Okay, so so here's something. So we didn't get to talk about this, Doc. So this is our chance right now. I know you are a kaiju fan. I know you run a kaiju business, but I have to ask, what was your opinion? I'm assuming you watched it. What was your opinion on the Oscar winner that was Godzilla -1?
I thought it was amazing. I really liked it. Saw it twice in the theaters. First night, we had rented out an AMC theater and did a private screening, had a bunch of industry people come out and hang out with us. And it was an amazing time. And I thought it was great. Very classic feel. Like the original, and just thought it was an amazing movie. Very anxious to have it come out on Blu-ray, and can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's hitting Japan May 1st. I plan, if I can get my hands on the 4K, because 4K is region free, hopefully I can be able to get the 4K delivered to me. I just want to say this. For me, Doc, it was definitely a top 5 Godzilla movie for me personally. In fact, I like it just a hair more than Shin. Shin Godzilla, in case anybody's wondering what I'm referring to. But I'll just say this: that boat chase sequence with the Minesweeper, the Godzilla chasing the boat, that may have been the single best Godzilla sequence I've ever seen on film, and that was to me the best part of the movie and the best Godzilla sequence ever, and I loved it. Loved it. It was definitely quite the sight to behold for me, anyway.
It was definitely amazing. Like, there were so many parts in the movie that were just so top drawer, and anxious to see. I know Godzilla Cross Kong is out.
Yes, today. Yep.
Are you seeing it? Everybody's so divided on it.
I am one of those divisive people. For the record, I hated Godzilla vs. Kong. I hated it. I already know I'm not going to like this movie, but me and Joe have to do our due diligence. We're going to go see it Saturday morning, and we're going to be doing a spoiler discussion right here on NerdCage Live Easter Sunday night, because Joe has to work next week, so we have to do it Sunday night. I'm more reading all the reviews. In fact, I work for Joe Blow. Joe Blow gave it a 7. IGN gave it a 6. like I said, I already know I'm not gonna like it based on everything I'm seeing. So, but like I said, I have to do my due diligence. I have to give it a fair review. I have to give it my fair critiques. I can't just go on and hate it, but I have to give it a fair review. And you know, coming off Godzilla -1, it's just like, that's how I personally feel now. I don't hate every single MonsterVerse movie. I really love Skull Island. I liked King of the Monsters, but so I know Joe's right in the middle. So Doc, how are you going into this movie this weekend? How are you generally feeling?
So I saw the first trailer right when -1 was hitting the theaters, and it was just like, oh my, I might not even see it. And as it got closer, I kind of got, there's only so many Godzilla movies. There's going to be a few years of like, there's going to be this drought where we're getting 2 Godzilla movies back so close to one another. So I actually have another theater tomorrow that everybody's coming back out to a private screening of it. I've avoided all the trailers.
Yeah.
It's hard. I've seen a few things, and I'm going in with no expectations. I told everybody when I'm inviting them, like, this is not going to be an Oscar winner movie. But it's Godzilla. And so if you can just enjoy it as 2 monsters banging around, or 4 monsters banging around, or however many end up being in it, it's still Godzilla. So
that's fair.
But yeah, you have to always separate them, but it'll be something to see.
Yeah, I just had to get that out of the way because I know your kaiju background. But Joe, looks like we got a question. If you want to fetch that one from Scott.
Scott Benegas, if you have a dedicated team that keep up with maintenance on the games and the machines.
So the main arcade is pretty much kept up by myself and Master Tech Doug Fox. So we show up at 6:30 in the morning and just start fixing stuff. And it's always a challenge. Like, as it gets busier, it gets harder and harder. Usually, average weeks, we can keep, like, Doug will stay working until 1 in the afternoon. Now with spring break, there's 100 people in there in the first hour. So it kind of makes it too busy to keep working on machines. So, and with more people playing, you're going to get more stuff broken, and it's a challenge, but it's one of the cornerstones that everything has to be tried to keep as original as possible and playable. And if it's a monitor with a color out, we fix it. If it's a joystick not working, we fix it. It doesn't matter how minute the detail is. The games have to play right. So we take maintenance very seriously. We are testing stuff. We ask the players to let us know if they're finding issues so we can fix it. So some of the stuff, it's difficult. Somebody broke a gun on Beastbuster's Second Nightmare, which is,
oh boy,
it's almost unobtainable. It'll take time to find a replacement for it. So we try to get it back up and functional, but it's something that we have to fix. So having players, it's good when players understand that it's pretty much a museum that's interactive, and usually they're a lot lighter on the machines, but it's got such a casual player reach now that you get people there, they're just banging on stuff like it's a Dave & Buster's, and that's how stuff gets broken. So
you know what? I want to tack onto this. So I'm just gonna make the polite assumption that any arcade game that involves like a light gun must be the biggest pain, or the hardest to like maintain, the hardest to fix, I would assume, right?
Light gun games and drivers are like, you'll see people that actually bend the steering wheels, and it's unfortunate because those, we know, because they're a casual game, the people just gravitate towards them. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. Like, there's so many games. Enjoy playing what you play, what you enjoy. So that's cool. But those do light guns, especially. We're basically rebuilding every gun every week. It's just to that point, like a Operation Wolf or a Terminator 2 Revolution X. It's just the unfortunate side. You'll see people just like banging the guns, and it's just part of it. They're meant to be played, but you get so many people beating on them, and things are gonna start to not work. So it's a challenge. It's a lot to fix every week. So
excellent. Yeah, I can't imagine. I just want to point out, I know some people are talking about House of the Dead. They're talking about House of the Dead. I think House of the Dead might be my favorite light gun game of all time. In particular, the second one. I think, if I recall, last time I was there was a House of the Dead 4. Am I right? Like, did I see?
We have 1 through 4. 1 and 2 had the Sega blasters. 3 had the big pump shotguns, and 4 had the red Uzis. And then there's one after it, which we don't currently have, which was Scarlet Dawn.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I was big on Time Crisis back in the day, although I did swear at the game a lot.
Great game. Like we have the original Time Crisis, and we picked up a Time Crisis 5. It's fun. Like usually, if we're doing, we don't do much like private sales or anything, but we'll get the occasional celebrity that asks us to track down a cabinet for them. And we had somebody ask us for a Time Crisis 5 for their house, which is a massive 2 42-inch screens on it.
Oh.
And it was amazing. It's an amazing cabinet, but getting it into his house was.
I can imagine that would be tough.
It was interesting. So, but we got it done.
Nice.
Also, just want to give a quick shout out to our friend Eli Rex from New York Revivals in the chat there. Just want to say hello. Joe, let's just tackle these questions real quick from Mike Fizel here. MK2 and Resident Evil 4. Just want to tackle those real quick, Joe. We can all give our opinions.
Okay. Jay, I think this one was for you. What do you feel about the MK2 movie?
Okay, and I want Doc to give his perspective too. For the record, Mike, I did not like the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. That being said, I will give the second movie a fair chance, but I'm going in with the lowest of expectations because 1995 always hold near and dear in my heart. Another thing I do worry about was I remember the follow-up that was Mortal Kombat Annihilation, so I'm hoping that maybe this sequel will be better or it will be even worse than 2021 was. So, Doc Mack, I know Mortal Kombat's a huge part of Galloping Ghost Arcade. Of course, all the Chicago area actors and actresses, Daniel Pacino, Master Marquez, Richard DeVizio, et cetera, have been involved with the Galloping Ghost Arcade and Mortal Kombat. So, what's your, real quick, just give everybody your opinion on the 2021 movie, and what are your expectations for the sequel that's supposedly coming out this fall?
Honestly, I hadn't even heard there was a second one coming out.
Oh!
I'm a little detached from the outside world. It's whatever. If it's not happening right here in Ogden, it's hard for me to hear about it. I wasn't a fan of the 2021 one. There was they've changed the characters that have too much of an iconic starting point for me. Like Sub-Zero reminded me of the girl from The Ring, how she's trying to be creepy, and it's like that's not Sub-Zero. And it's if you're coming in at that point, I'm sure it's probably a fine movie. Just being the Mortal Kombat fan,
yes,
it didn't land with me, but I've been there since day one, so it's it's hard to be a dinosaur and like the old stuff, and everything's got to evolve. So
let me address the elephant in the room when it comes to the new MK2 movie. You're familiar with Carl Urban, correct? Give him some acting roles.
He was Judge Dredd in the Dredd movie. He's also in The Boys. He's Billy the Butcher in The Boys. He was in the Star Trek remake as well.
All right.
But anyway, Carl Urban is playing Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
For me, like, even in the 95 movie, like, Daniel Pesina is Johnny Cage for me. Like, it's hard. Like, those martial artists were the characters, and it was hard. I saw the 95 movie, and it was like, why didn't they just use the real actors? Like, those are them. They could just. It's not like a drawing that they have to find somebody that can kind of play the part. There's people that made the parts. And it's like the 95 movie is beloved though. So like, again, everybody has their own opinion on stuff. I'm sure the new one will do great. We'll see.
Yeah, and now with MK1 bringing everything full circle and finally getting an actual skin that is Jean-Claude Van Damme for Johnny Cage, which is what they always wanted. That kind of brings it right around.
It's interesting. Like, again, MK1, beautiful looking game. It's amazing that NetherRealm keeps making the game different every time, which was one of those things where it keeps evolving, which amazing that NetherRealm keeps doing that. So,
yeah, shout out to them for that.
All right. Also, there's the Resident Evil 4 question, and a quick transition to tie it in with the Galloping Ghost Arcade. And I've said it before last time. I had a blast playing Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica. That was one of my highlights at the Galloping Ghost Arcade. That being said, Resident Evil 4, I believe Mike brought that up again. I'll just say it real quick, Mike. I hated Resident Evil 4 when it first came out. We played the remake on Twitch last year at launch. And I've lightened my opinion. I still have my thoughts on it. I still like classic Resident Evil more, but I've lightened my stance on Resident Evil 4. Joe, go ahead. Go ahead if you want to tack on to that.
Yeah, I've always said that there are two groups of Resident Evil fans. You're either Resident Evil 2 oriented or you're Resident Evil 4 oriented. I was always a Resident Evil 2 guy. I never really gave 4 the chance that it really needed. I was pretty much into other games at the time, but at the same time, Resident Evil 4 changed the formula so dramatically that it was hard for me to make that switch. And, they continued with that with 5 and 6, which I don't really even talk about 6. but yeah, I mean, I've always been more of a 2 guy. With the remake of 4, though, it has gotten better, and it made me change and lighten my opinion on it. And I like 4. I don't dislike it. I just put 2 way above it.
Yeah, Doc, so what about you? Are you a fan of Resident Evil 4, and is there any other Resident Evil related arcade machines coming in, or are you trying to get your hands on?
Arcade wise, the Code Veronica one is the only one that they put out. It's amazing that we were able to track down an original dedicated cabinet.
Yeah.
But RE4, I've been playing RE since day one when it came out. Every re-release of it and remake I've been there for. Played through 6, and that was a rough one to get through, but I loved 4.
Okay.
To me, the original RE1 is the remake of it was amazing. I love the fixed camera, but I played through the newest remake of RE4, loved it, picked up the VR2 for it, haven't played through that yet, but it's there. I'm anxious to get through that and eventually.
Excellent.
But if it's RE, I'm playing it.
Yeah, and
awesome.
If you talk about like mods and stuff, they just dropped a PC mod for Resident Evil 2 Remake that gives you the fixed camera angles.
I was watching that. It looked really good. They picked some great camera choices and really gave it the classic feel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Absolutely, yeah. And also, I just want to say one more thing. There's also rumors are happening. Again, I don't want to dive too much into the rumors, especially, but they're talking about the next entry of Resident Evil. You know, obviously it's Resident Evil 9. I don't know what it's going to be called, but they're actually talking about making Resident Evil open world. I don't know how I feel about that, but
yeah, I don't know either.
I'll give it a fair shake, though.
Well, we'll see what they do. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's
like I wouldn't be opposed to having an open world mode, but I don't know about the actual storyline of the game being open world. It's going to be very tough to do.
It's interesting where they've taken it with 7 and 8. They've been fun. It didn't really have that same Resident Evil vibe to it for me. Like I loved them. I thought they were great. Thought they were a bit easy, but Village was definitely odd having the lichens and it just seemed like kind of all over the place. So
yeah, I've always said it. You need to go back to their roots and go back to the zombie virus, for one. And for two, go back to the original characters. You can mix them up a little. You could have like Jill team up with Leon or something they haven't done before. But those core characters have to be involved. You can't just take them away. It doesn't really feel like Resident Evil when you do that.
Well, and they did something like with Wesker. They had built up such a great villain that came back, and he was just you knew who he was. He had his backstory, and you knew he was going to be a problem. Whereas, like, by the time they were getting to even through 4 and stuff, where it's like the end bosses were so disposable, like Krauser and just everybody came and went so quick. And if you don't develop those characters and get an understanding for them, it loses that sustainability and that connection to the player, to the characters. So it's definitely you want to conclude things, but if you just keep bringing in new characters that come and go, you never have that sustainability to it.
Yeah, and there are certain villain nitpicks from some of the games, 5 being one of them, that there were plot holes. They weren't taking me out of the game, but I wish they would have developed them a little more. Like the whole rivalry between Spencer, who was the creator of the entire Umbrella Corporation, and Wesker. I think it would have been better to hash out Spencer a little more and not just kill him off, and maybe have him even mutate into a boss.
Yeah.
But I like this. I kind of like what they did, but at the same time, it made me feel like I wanted more from that character.
It was, like if they're trying to tell that story to make something that wraps up so neat at the end, it just kind of, it causes the problem moving forward. Like one of the great things, I don't know if you guys played Resident Evil Online at all back when that was a thing, like PlayStation 2 era.
It was tough because not everybody had online back then, and it was in its infancy.
The only one I played online, and and I know my roommate's in the chat. So when Resident Evil 5 first came out for me on the Xbox 360, obviously the only way to play that game is co-op, and luckily for me, my friend Paul, who's not my roommate, he had the game too. So him and I played it online together, co-opted online together, and we got through it. And I didn't have any online issues. I will just say this: I think Resident Evil 5, not only it's one of my favorite Resident Evil games, I think it's the best co-op game of all time. So yeah, I played Resident Evil 5 co-opted online, and it was awesome. It was definitely an awesome experience for me.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about with the Outbreak series and everything. I think that deserves a remake in modern time online, because back then you kind of had to struggle to find anybody to actually play with and that also had online. Now it's a mainstay, so if they remade it now, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, if they ever went back to it, it was like it. We were doing so much where our team from Galloping Ghost Productions, there was myself and 3 other guys. We would all log in at the same time. We figured out a good way to sync up and always be in the party together. So we played literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of it. Got every achievement on it, and it was amazing, but very, very short, but very interesting. There's a lot of cool things that made it feel like the original, but a little more deeper. So I thought it was great, but I would love to see that redone.
Yes.
Now, I gotta ask, are there any arcade games at Galloping Ghost that you guys modded or have, like, online capability to, like, network with other machines?
The Sky Cursor machine connects through Wi-Fi to update, like, top scores and stuff, but that's really about it.
Okay, no, I was just curious.
We currently have our Mortal Kombat 1 custom arcade cabinet that runs off a PlayStation 5. That's connected online, so we see people playing online with that a lot, but that's really about it.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, please don't kill me, Doc, but I have yet to be on the pinball side of Galloping Ghost. I still have not even set foot in the pinball area because there's so many games I still want to play at the Galloping Ghost. So, if you could, can you just rattle off some of your personal highlight pinball machines? And are there any Mortal Kombat or Resident Evil related pinball machines at the Galloping Ghost Pinball?
No MK, no RE pinball so far. I think they would be very interesting if they tried that. Pinball, like, I love pinball.
Yeah.
It's very different than, like, I love the video game side of the arcade. Like, there's 976 games versus 45 machines. So it's like, you can tell I'm a video side guy even more than pinball. But most of the pins that we have are usually horror themed, and very, like, we've got Funhouse, which Rudy was voiced by Mortal Kombat creator Ed Boon, so that's
nice.
A cool statement. We have a lot of video game themed pins like Space Invaders, Defender, Joust.
Nice.
Joust is 2-player pinball, very, very rare. But then we have there's a new Godzilla pinball machine from Stern that we have, which is phenomenal.
Okay, so that's the one that Toho released, like, last year, right?
Yes. It was the classic 54 through 75 era Godzilla. And Stern did such an amazing job. There's a Led Zeppelin pinball machine. I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. And got it. And it's a good game. But the Godzilla game is a phenomenal game with a phenomenal IP. It just put it on such a different level, and easily probably my favorite pinball machine of all time at this point. And that's going against games like Funhouse and Creature from the Black Lagoon, Twilight Zone, just Monster Bash, and just so Elvira Scared Stiff. So many great pinball machines that we have. It's but yeah, it is just a phenomenal game.
Nice.
Shout out to my boss, the owner of Joe Blow, Burge, out in Montreal. He just invested into a pinball business, and he just posted, I hope I'm not stepping on any toes when I say this, but he just posted that he just purchased a Pulp Fiction pinball machine.
Nice.
Do you guys have that one at the Galloping Ghost?
We don't. There's been so many great pins coming out. Galactic Tank Force just came out. That's a really great looking game. Pulp Fiction, Jaws. It's hard to keep up with them just because there's so many great games coming out. The price tags on them are so much more than the video side of things. So
really,
you'll drop it's funny. We had our first, and this is back in 2010, so it's not really a fair comparison, but it's kind of funny where we've actually spent more on the 45 pinball machines than we have on the 975 arcade machines.
Wow.
Like the first 114 arcade machines that we purchased was $5,000, and the average pin is 10 grand at this point. So it's they're pricey, but there's a lot of moving parts, and they're new machines versus classics that have been around, and you're not gonna find like Elvira House of Horrors on discount price anywhere. Like you find one for $8 grand, you're finding it for a steal. So
okay, I can dig it. Trying to think what other pinball themed machines that are out there that, because like I said, I have not set foot in that section yet because it's just like I said, there's so many massive so many stuff on the video side I have yet to do.
I think I know for sure there's a Terminator one.
Oh, okay, I got one because I'm looking around my room. I'm just gonna throw a couple IPs out there because, like I said, are there any superhero-themed pinball machines, and is there a Ninja Turtles pinball machine?
There's a ton of superhero machines. Spider-Man, Batman. It's pretty much any superhero has a pin. We don't have any superhero pins. But yeah, like Terminator, we don't even have a Terminator yet. So we do have a Aliens from Highway, which is a very, very rare pinball machine. And we have a Predator pinball machine, which is a one-of-one unreleased prototype.
Nice.
There was a company called Skip B that was working on it and taking it to shows. And apparently they took $800,000 worth of pre-sale money, and they were developing it, and people were very excited for the game. Some pretty good hand-drawn art on it of all the major characters, Dutch, and the pin has 2 skull and spines hanging off the machine, like blood covered, just really, really nice design. And as they're getting really close to launching it, it turned out that they never had the license to do it. So 20th Century Fox put a complete cease and desist on them. They had sold their prototype machine and filed for bankruptcy. So there was only the one machine that got out. And we actually have a court order in the cabinet saying that it was sold before they declared bankruptcy. So 20th Century Fox couldn't claim rights, and because they were trying to get the machine for damages. And the court order said it happened before the bankruptcy. So that one is the only one that exists, and that's right over at Galloping Ghost Pinball for everybody to come and play.
Okay, duly noted. I will make sure I make that priority next time I'm at Galloping Ghost. Joe, looks like Screaming Man's got a question about in the chat.
Yes, he has a question. It may have already been answered, but he said, what's the most unique pinball machine you have?
As far as, like, Predator is very rare. It's a one-on-one. Like, you can't get more obscure, highly sought after. But it's pretty straightforward in how it plays. Games like Joust, it being head-to-head pinball, is really cool. And then there's also one put out called Varcon that Williams put out, and it's in more of a video arcade style cabinet, and you're playing it off of a mirror. And there's, if you can spell Varcon, you can shoot the ball, and there's in the center this mini playfield that is upside down and basically reversed. It just very, very unique. The ball feels very floaty, and just a really cool, obscure game.
Nice.
Excellent. All right. And I guess to put a cherry on top of this what gun to your head? What is your personal favorite pinball machine at the Galloping Ghost Pinball?
For the longest time, I said it was Funhouse. When we were opening up the arcade, that was the only pin I really wanted. We bought 114 arcade machines and 1 pinball machine. So that pinball was Funhouse. So that was the only one for the longest time. Then Creature from the Black Lagoon came along, and that was a phenomenal game. Then Monster Bash came along. That was one of the top ones. But now with Godzilla being as good as it is, that's still probably my favorite right now. Great playing and great IP. It's hard to beat.
Absolutely. I definitely have to agree with you on that one.
Now I was going to shift gears a little bit and maybe talk about the new TV series that's out and want your thoughts on it. X-Men 97.
I haven't seen it. I've heard great things about it from some, but yeah, it's.
How do you feel about them bringing the old animation back anyway?
I think, if you're going to do something classic and cater towards the original fans, that's the way to do it. If you bring back the old animators, bring back the old team, and that's cool. That's how you're going to get the original fans back into it. And it's funny, talking about gaming in general, and we see with people that are playing Mortal Kombat, the classic players have seemingly a hard time kind of adapting to the newer games. And it's just the evolution of it. So when somebody is really going back to where it all started and making it for the original fans, that's an awesome thing.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. So keep it coming.
I have yet to watch it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm waiting for all the episodes to drop, so that way I can watch it. I don't want to have to wait a week in between. I'm going to wait for all to drop, then I'm going to binge it. Also, right now, in fact, I have it right here in my hands. I recently purchased this. It is it's a bootleg, but it's a good bootleg here. It is the original X-Men series, on every single one on Blu-ray. I'm currently going through it right now as we speak. I'm about halfway through it. It's just trying to refresh my entire memory of it, and then I'm gonna go into X-Men 97 fresh, with that fresh in my mind, and go through all of them without stopping. So that's how I plan on watching. I'm very excited to go through it. By the way, I just got done editing an interview for X-Men 97 on Joe Blow Celebrity Interviews. Jake Castorina, he's the supervisor producer on X-Men 97. That interview just went up today on Joe Blow Celebrity Interviews. Check that out. Edited by yours truly. So yeah, very exciting times, and of course 90s nostalgic. There's never been a hotter time for 90s nostalgic, especially for us 90s kids who are now in their 30s and 40s, looking, reliving our childhoods here. All right, now
I won't go into full detail, but I can promise everybody there will be coverage of X-Men 97 here on the channel.
Absolutely. Okay, hey Joe, we got here's a good question. I already know the answer to this, but I think this is a good way to transition. We can probably start wrapping everything up here. But fetch that one thing from Mike there about tournaments there.
Yes, he has a question for Doc Mack. He says, do you guys have gaming tournaments and give out prizes to winners?
We do. Lately, so we have our big tournament every week on Monday with our Monday mystery game, where a lot of the players come out. Currently, we used to have a 10X championship belt, where if you won 10 Monday mysteries, you were the 10X champ. It's like a big wrestling belt. We also have the Hardcore Championship, which basically is a running tournament where if the Hardcore Champion is at the arcade, anyone can challenge him. You get a game is picked at random, and then you compete head-to-head, and the winner becomes the Hardcore Champion. Hardcore Champion gets free access to the arcade, free drinks and snacks. Everything is comped. So that's a highly coveted title that's constantly running. And we've had over, I think right now it's like 60 some title defenses in a single day. So like you'll have amazing, we had one of our contenders for Gamer of the Year lose in Street Fighter 4 to he was like a 12-year-old kid beat him. And you never know, it's all at random. He just wasn't a fighting game player, and this kid had some Street Fighter skills. So but also occasionally we'll have tournaments that we host. We've been seeing other communities kind of come in and host their own tournaments. This guy Kevin hosts, there's like a furry meetups, and they host tournaments. There's another guy, Josh, who hosts, he has a tournament called the Bloody Wars Tournament. They're doing one coming up in, we just put Super Dragon Ball Z on the arcade floor.
Nice.
And they're doing a big tournament on that I think it's in June, I want to say. So, but we are getting back on track soon, hopefully, to doing more, like we used to do Sega Week, where we'd have a week-long tournament and usually cash prizes and titles and trophies and stuff. So it's all coming up soon.
Nice. Also, I want to point out too. Last time we were live, I wore my Galloping Ghost arcade T-shirt. I'm not wearing it today, but I will say this to everybody who's plans on visiting the Galloping Ghost. When you get there, by all means, check out the merch at the when you first walk in, the merch that they're selling there. They got so many cool stuff at Galloping Ghost. For example, I just want to show everybody this. I got this autograph here from Kerry Hoskins, someone from Mortal Kombat 3, but this is the Midway Revolution Aerosmith game. So check out all the merch. There's autographs, T-shirts, some other cool merch there at Galloping Ghost. So now that there you go there to play some games and stuff, check out some of the merch that they got there. They always got cool stuff. In fact, Doc, is there anything you guys got coming there, or got stuff anything you want to push that you're trying to sell?
I think we just got our new hats in, and nothing else too new.
You got beanies?
Oh yeah, we do.
All right, yeah. Because
I'll send you one.
I'm a beanie guy, so
I'll get you one sent out.
All right, cool. Yeah, I definitely have to when I next time I'm there. Absolutely. All right, so hey, it's obviously we like to keep our audience wanting more. So here's what we're gonna do. The bar is closing, guys. So if any last minute questions, bar is closing now. For if you guys have any more questions for Doc, but Doc, I'm gonna give you the floor one more time. And I already know that you probably have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline, whether if it's appearances, events, tournament, whatever. But if there's anything you're allowed to announce right now that you want to go ahead and share, by all means, the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, thank you, man. So we have our expansion coming up at the arcade, probably within 2 weeks. So you can keep an eye on our Facebook. We'll make a big announcement when that's opening up. Then we're going to be at the C2E2 in Chicago. That's going to be a big show. Excited for that, and nothing else too much off of that comes to mind, but it's always changing. So if you check in on any given Monday to our Twitch stream, you can hear all the news and stuff of what's coming up.
All right. And Joe, do you got any final thoughts or final questions for Doc?
Not at the moment, but it's always turning up here.
Yeah. All right, absolutely. All right, here's what we'll do. First and foremost, Doc, thanks so much for spending time with us, adolescent children here. We always love having you on. The conversation is always amazing here, and we can't wait to have you back on the show. And like I said, I'm hoping I'll be in Chicago. I plan on being in Chicago this summer. I'm going to try anyway, but again, to NerdCage Nation, if you are planning on visiting Chicago or G-Fest or any other conventions, or if you just plan on visiting Chicago, please make your way to the Galloping Ghost Arcade. Also follow their YouTube and their Facebook. All the links are in the description. Joe, let's just go over our upcoming shows real quick. So let's just go with our upcoming shows. So Joe,
well, before we do that, we got one last question, and that's: do you have a Rambo pinball machine?
We don't have Rambo. We have Rambo 3 on the arcade side, but nothing on the pinball side.
All right, yes. Well, we're diehard Stallone fans over here, by the way.
Yes, we are.
All right. So Joe, let's just we'll just go over our upcoming shows here. So Joe, Saturday on Twitch.
Yeah, Saturday will be the finale attempt, finally, of God of War 2.
And then Joe, Easter Sunday.
Yes, our spoiler discussion of Godzilla X Kong.
And of course, Tuesday on Twitch.
Yes, more Gears of War 2.
Wednesday, April 3rd, Punk Rock NBA.
Yes, Finn McKenty.
Yes, be there for Big Papa Finn. Again, music journalist, Punk Rock NBA. We're gonna talk music, video games, and movies. Cannot wait to get into it with this guy. I'm flattered he chose to come on. He'll be coming on Wednesday, April 3rd. And then Joe, Wednesday, April 10th, the Queen of Violence returns.
Yes, Heather Hardy will be here to promote her upcoming bare knuckle fight, her entry to it.
Yes, and of course, mark your calendars for Monday, April 22nd.
Yes, will be our discussion of 1994, the year of retro gaming.
Yes, and Tabbook 99 will be joining us, as well as David L. Craddock. He is a video game author and video game documentary maker. He'll be joining us. He's been on the channel before. We're very excited. Obviously, these guys are very knowledgeable when it comes to retro gaming and, of course, Mortal Kombat, so we definitely cannot wait to talk about 1994. Is it the best year of retro gaming? We're going to discuss that. And then, Joe, mark your calendars. MK the 4th be with you.
Yes, May 4th, watch party of Mortal Kombat Legacy Seasons 1 and 2.
All right, buddy, go ahead and plug in social media.
All right, if you want to get us on Twitter or Instagram, both handles are at nerd_cage. Our link to our Discord is in the description. Become a member there as well. And our Facebook discussion group, that is NerdCage Nation. We love everything you guys put up there. No spoilers, no politics, and for God's sakes, keep it civil.
Yes. And of course, hey, Joe, bust out that mug one more time.
All right, one more time for you guys. This is the Resident Evil design of our mug on TeePublic. Many more designs you can get. Stainless steel inside. It's very good quality. Go ahead and pick yourself up one.
And of course, we got pillows as well. Hoodies, magnets, tote bags, you name it. Again, we have more designs on here, but here's some designs I have on hand right now. Get the regular shirt with the Strength of Geek Knowledge on the back. And of course, we got the Wu-Tang design. We got the Rocky 3, Rocky 4 design. We got the Godzilla Monsterverse design. And of course, in celebration of Mortal Kombat and arcade games, we got the Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and of course, the Mortal Kombat arcade marquee. Again, any size, any color, whether you're a skinny booty call or a fat fuck, big or small, we love them all. Go to NerdCage TeePublic, link in the description. We go from small all the way to 5XL. So, again, thanks so much. It's the best way to support us. All right. Doc, once again, thank you so much. We definitely want to have you back. And by the way, Doc, you might stick around for a couple minutes after we get off air. I just got to ask you a couple questions.
Sure.
All right, cool. But yeah, absolutely. Again, check out Galloping Ghost Arcade. All the links in the description. Be sure to visit there. It's one of the, I promise you, it will be one of the best experiences you'll ever have. You're going to want to keep going back. Again, when you visit Chicago, get that deep dish pizza. Go to Galloping Ghost Arcade. Trust me, from your boy, Jay, Chicago is definitely home away from home. So we pretty please ask you to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and spread that shit like retro gaming everywhere. So from yours truly, Syracuse, New York, to Chicago, Illinois, to all of our fans and friends around the world at NerdCage Live and the Galloping Ghost Arcade. As always, enjoy life, stay safe, eat your vegetables, do your push-ups, go to the gym, all that good stuff. Good night, God bless, and have the best day of your life.
Good night.
And stick around for our awesome Twitch promo, guys, and we'll see you Saturday on Twitch.
NerdCage Live and gaming are a perfect match.
Shoot the J, Joe. Okay. Shoot it!
All right.
Over on NerdCage Live on Twitch, Jay and Joe go live.
Call me Bazooka Joe.
It's all about you.
Kaboom! Playing both old school and new school games every Tuesday night. Ooh, what a sight!
Jay, stop looking at her face and run.
But she's so beautiful.
So be sure to follow NerdCage Live on Twitch.
Run for your life, Joe. Run for your life, Joe.
Running.
Run faster. Oh no, Joe, the galaxy's doomed because of you.
To scratch your gaming itch.
Oh, nice kick, Joe.
Thank you.
Yo, that's diabolical. Wait. Yo!
That's twitch.tv/NerdCage Live.
Ooh, trying to get out of the NerdCage, are ya? Well, before you go, hit that subscribe button. And if you're really intrigued, ring that bell. Thank you for dropping by. Until next time, tell everyone you know about NerdCage Live! Ah!